Pleased to meet you. This is Fixed and Folded, the knife review channel for the casual knife collector. I am Cody. Tommy is finishing up his lunch beside me, my cat. And today I'm going to be doing a review of the full-size WE 910 037 folding knife. This is an almost perfect folding knife. Just the flipper is the only thing that I have an issue with. So we'll start with that because the rest is going to be showering with praise. So you can see the flipper is pretty proud standing out from the frame, which I'm fine with. I have like a EX02, what is that brand? Hogue. That is like a ridiculously large flipper and I love that thing. But it's also thin. And it's not overly wide for my extra large fingers and hands. This is too thin considering how strong the detent is. The detent is safe. It's good that it's strong. You got the frame lock here. But sometimes I fail deployment of this because of the strength of the detent in combination with the relative narrowness of the flipper. So if I fidget with it over time, I'll get a sore finger because it's just kind of not sharp, but borderline pokey, just because of the dimensions of it, combined with the stiffness of the action. So I think that for my hand size, this would be better achieved with having a thicker handle with or just somehow having a larger space in the between here, allowing for a thicker flipper tab. That would solve the problem and make this a perfect knife. As it stands, this is fine. Almost push button it. I'd say even if I push kind of diagonally down and into it, that's kind of the best way to deploy it. But this does poke into my finger a little bit. It's not sharp, and there's some mild jimping on the flat here, and just there's no jimping on the outside. Definitely no sharp edges, but it's just so thin and pokey that yeah, it's going to be a hot spot over time if I'm just fidgeting with it. Okay, that's my one complaint with the knife. The price, it's 420 Canadian. But that's a reasonable price, not overpriced for the fit and finish, the materials, and the design. You got an M390 blade, and you have a titanium handle with no screws on the side of the show side, and you just have the screw to attach the steel liner insert, frame lock insert, and then you got your pivot adjust screw there, and then you have two body screws on the back. So you just, one side of the body sticks out more than the other to accommodate the threading, and very cool, clean design. Ergonomics for saber grip are extremely comfortable, as well as choke up grip. Very comfortable. Reverse grip is very comfortable. So yeah, all of the grips are very comfortable. You have an inset pocket clip, which is a high carry. You've got this much material poking out of your pocket. Okay, fine. I'm gonna also take something away from the design of the pocket clip because it is quite difficult to get this under your fabric because this is quite stiff and you have to sink the fabric into this insert into the handle here. So utility of the pocket clip. You know what, before I whine about it, I've never actually tried to use it. I just kind of looked at it. And so let's go and see how it actually works from the box. Yeah, it's definitely finicky. All right, so now it's in, and then I'll try and pull it out. Okay, so it pulls out easily, but yeah, it catches on the fabric. Fabric bunches up. It's not great for initial attachment. So while the ergonomics are extremely comfortable, you cannot feel the clip at all when it's in your hand. The downside is it's actually kind of hard to use. So that's a fail, because you want your pocket clip to be a pocket clip, right? Looks cool, but if you don't use a pocket clip, then this is great. Visuals are pretty cool. It's got a alien future. It looks like kind of like something from an Alien or Predator movie. It's got really interesting lines. Thin blade stock, like I'd say medium to thin for a knife that's just under 9 inches. Really, really slicey grind on the blade with excellent cutting bevel out of the box. Even apex, the tip. You have a usable, I have got big fat fingers, and you got a usable choke up choil there, so that's really good. The weight feels really nice. It's light, but there's no flex in anything, and there's heavy milling. Probably can't see, but there's heavy milling inside the handle scales, but complete rigidity. So the fit and finish is superb, perfectly centered from the box. This finish of a black wash coat on the blade, that's like a matte, not shiny. And then a similar finish on the handle. It looks classy, but it's not overly fancy, not overly ornate like the designer's other WE knife. What is that called? The Zonda. That's his more recent design, which looks very similar to this, except he maximizes blade length and gets rid of this finger choke up choil. And he has addressed the issue with this flipper being too narrow and pokey. The flipper is less proud and more rounded, so probably that would eliminate my issue with the flipper. But the Zonda looks more ornate. It's got fancy carbon fiber inlays and trimmings all around it that make it look more like a collector drawer knife and less like a hard use, tactical, military, cool, hardcore knife. It just looks like an ornate collector knife, which it's really good at doing that. But I prefer more of a understated look like this one. Handle thickness is, I'd say, medium. It's not skinny, it's not fat. I do like aesthetically that it's just, you got your WE logo on the show side, opposite the pivot. You got these interesting textured, inset textured slots, or little sections in here that provide, the fingers rest up against here, and it's a fine texture. It provides a little bit of traction, but the majority of traction is going to be with the shape of the handle, with the cutouts where the fingers rest. And as well as the height of the handle is where you're getting your traction. And I do feel like the knife is secure in the hand. This is going to provide a stop for the hand sliding forward under piercing. So this is a really good design to keep your hand locked in place. And it's not so aggressively shaped that you have limited hand positions. I can move my hand around and it still feels nice and comfortable. So excellent design for ergonomics. So yeah, this is a knife that you could use if you wanted to. The materials are very durable. You could use this as a heavy-duty work knife if you wanted to, providing you're allowed to have a 3.5-inch cutting edge at your workplace. So you mean, would this be a tactical knife? Yeah, maybe, because I can work this with gloves. I can work this quite well with gloves. In fact, this is not uncomfortable with gloves. You get that extra layer of protection around the finger. So, yeah, you know what? Well, my only detractor of whether I would consider this like a post-apocalypse, knife that you can really rely on to do piercing, cutting, and slicing and be durable is that it has ball bearings. And while ball bearings are great for an EDC knife, they're not great for actually if you're working in an environment where there's going to be debris floating in the air, or if you're going to be taking this through mud or water or anything, because ball bearings will seize up or get bogged down with gunk. And disassembling it in the field, obviously you want to prevent having to do that. And so I prefer bronze washers, some kind of a solid washer system, Teflon, nylon, even though the Teflon and nylon aren't necessarily fancy and you can get a little bit of side-to-side blade play with those. They're going to be more resistant to debris, impeding the action. And bronze washers are just great. So I'd say this is like an 8 out of 10 tactical knife, with 2 points being taken away for the ball bearing system, being that it's just less robust less reliable under all weather conditions than like phosphor bronze washers, which have been great. Obviously, if you want a knife to survive in all harsh conditions, it should be a fixed blade. Then you don't have to worry about the pivot being a weak point or a gunk down point. But if you want something that you can conceal, it's easier to conceal a folding knife if you have pockets than it is a fixed blade. So, yeah, very good knife. And as you can see, I'm not having trouble deploying it, but it's just thin and pokey, relatively. So that's my complaint there. And as I mentioned before, this is not perfectly adapted to be functional. It's perfectly adapted to be comfortable and cool, but we want a knife to be very functional, and it's a bonus if it's also nice looking. You might think this is ugly, you might think it looks weird. Hey, then for you it is. I think it looks good. I don't think it looks great, but for utility of cutting, like for the blade shape, very good. And handles very comfortable, and it has its own character. Even over the Zonda, this WE 910037 has its own character. I picked this over the Zonda because it's a little bit more understated than the Zonda, which is more ornate and collector-y looking. I think the Zonda is a little more expensive also. So I'm gonna, okay, let's see. Let's find out what weight this is. If this is under 5 ounces, that's very impressive because this feels very solid and it's a relatively big knife, and 5 ounces is my point of where the knife is heavy subjectively. Oh, 4.1 ounces, that's cool. That's pretty much at your total blade length to weight ratio, the golden ratio, which I don't care. If the knife is heavy but it's robust, like, then I'm happy with that. But this is a data point for you, right? It's a good balance. It's a good balance of weight to durability, right? 4.1 ounces for a 4-inch total blade length. Just over 3.5 inches of cutting edge. You have 4 3/4 inches total hand area, including the choke up point, or 3.5 inches in the default position. Total length is just under 9 inches. It's like 8.8 inches. So that's a big knife. Let's do a cutting test first. That's really good. That's really nice. I'm gonna do a push cut test and then a slice test through the paracord. Push cut, takes quite a bit of effort. I'd say firm. So what do you got? Light, medium, and hard effort. Kind of hard effort to push cut it. Slice now. Oh yeah, really light effort for slicing. Push cutting, maybe I should just do slice testing for my paracord. I mean, it is pretty hard to push cut through any kind of, material that's gonna give on you and not be hard. So great at slicing. Just the geometry is gonna make this really good at piercing also. So yeah, good, useful blade design. And M390 is a super steel. It's very well balanced. And titanium is an excellent, durable, lightweight handle material. Okay, I'll do size comparison with other full-size knives. So this is my beloved Hytron Pathright, which is a hair over 8 inches in total length. Go 8.5 inches with the Terzola ATCF, my favorite tactical knife currently. A little bit bigger, just under 9 inches. You got the WE 037. And just over 9 inches, the Recon M1. So you can see where this fits in. It's a big knife. So where did we end up with the score? I'm going to take, do I take a full point or half a point? I'm going to take a point away for the shape, the dimensions of the flipper tab. So it would be 9 out of 10 plus. I have to take another 1 or 2 points away for the, I'll take 1 point away for the pocket clip being finicky to engage. It's easy to disengage, but it's finicky to engage. That could definitely be moderated by carefully bending the clip up enough so you overcome the initial tension and still have it touching the frame, but being easier to engage in the pocket. But I'm still taking a point away because from the box, not an ideal design. So 8 out of 10 knife. Yeah, this is an 8 out of 10 knife for me. The WE 910 model 037. I recommend that you get it if you have $420 and you don't mind the imperfections of the flipper tab shape and the utility of this pocket clip, because everything else on the knife is great. Just the feel in hand, just this nice, it's not perfectly smooth, but it's not really chalky either. It feels really good in the hand. Just the rigidity to lightweight also of this, and the smoothness of those bearings. You can just shake it shut. And just the sound, it's got a nice sound to deployment also. And also for a frame lock, sometimes frame locks, I find my fingers rest on the frame and push against the knife and it doesn't open. Not here. As long as I put my finger in this finger reference zone here. This is the cutaway to help the flex of the frame lock. If I put my finger in here, you can see that's just kind of where the frame lock starts. That's not putting a lot of pressure on here, and show you. So if I put my fingers here, when I deploy the knife, it deploys without resisting the blade. So there you go, 8 out of 10 knife. If you enjoy my review, please like. And I have a ton of reviews already, so you can subscribe because I have more knife reviews coming. I hope you all have a great day, and I will have more knife reviews for you soon. Okay. Tommy's sleeping. Have a good day.